and see my face.
You know, you do it when she wants to come. That's why I say
First quarter of 2018 ends on a positive trajectory in Nigeria. Second quarter commences with a decline. And 3 stockbrokers expelled from the stock exchange. Hello and welcome to Before the Market on Pride Television, reaching you from Lagos, Nigeria. My name is Emmanuel Akindubua. It's the end of the first quarter of the year, and numerous events have shaped what may be regarded as an interesting start to the year 2018 from Nigeria. Having ended the first quarter of 2018 on a positive trajectory with a record of 1.4 trillion naira gained in the stock market despite the volatility experienced. During the period, analysts foresee sustainability of the performance on an improved macroeconomic fundamental. The Nigerian stock market recorded a decline in the first week of the second quarter as investors' negative sentiments persisted, having closed the first quarter with a growth of 8.5%. The market opened at the second quarter with a decline last week, with the Nigerian stock share all-share index dipping by 1.6%. The negative performance stemmed from sell-offs in some bellwether stocks. The Nigerian Stock Exchange Council has expelled 3 stockbrokers for alleged misappropriation and fraudulent sales of clients' shares. A March 28 circular indicated that the registration of Mr. Victor Ogenwai, Mr. Joel Okafo, and Mrs. Ladi Barbara Owodi had been revoked as authorized dealers clerk of the exchange. Consequently, they shall not be allowed to participate in trading or owing a trading firm at the exchange. The circular said the disciplinary committee of the NSE, which oversees ethics and compliance, indicted them for alleged misappropriation and unauthorized sale of client shares. Well, our stock market analyst Joy Onwuka will join me on the program to look at activities from the stock exchange and what should we expect on the first trading day of the new week. Also coming up, we have the Global Business Review, where we shall take you through major business headlines from across the world and keep you updated on top stories from the world of business. Well, thank you for joining us, and welcome to Business Morning on Pride Television. We'll be back after this timeout. Who is prompting?
The CBN, Central Bank of Nigeria.
Central Bank of Nigeria.
CBN is the Central Bank of Nigeria.
I know it, but I don't want to answer, please.
CBN. I don't know.
Central Bank of Nigeria.
Hey, you have come again. You have come again. All these current affairs questions, I've forgotten them, please.
Currently now, I don't know the current CBN governor now.
Please, I don't watch news, so I don't know anything.
I don't remember anymore, please.
The thing is, they keep changing them over and over, so I've not been able to assimilate that presently now.
On the set, can you deceive me? Madam, ask another question.
That's not in my memory, please.
Oh, sorry, I don't know right now.
Okay, let's have the CBN governor. CBN governor, what's his name? Well, I don't forget.
I don't know. The present one, I don't know, honestly.
No, it's not Sanusi. That should not be Sanusi now. This is not the tenor of Sanusi. Can't remember.
You guys have started. I am not interested.
is the life. This is the place you wanna go. This is the time to see the world you never know. This is the life. This is the dream. This is the wish. This is the chance that you don't ever wanna miss. This is the life.
Welcome back, and joining me now to look at how the stock market fared in the first quarter of the year 2018 is our stock market analyst, Joy Owuka. I almost said Joy. Welcome to the program, Joy.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel.
All right, so let's look back at the last 3 months, the first quarter of 2018. How did the Nigerian stock market fare?
Oh, well, the first quarter of the year 2018 has, of course, come to an end. And then we saw the all-share index growing by 14% at the end of January. And then at the end of February, it drops to 11%. That's about a 4% decrease. But then we still have a lot to celebrate for, because at the end of the first quarter, we saw about 71 stocks gaining about a two-digit gain in 71 stock, and that's a lot for us to celebrate. Now, 51 out of this 71 stock also posted a very high rate of double-digit gain. So at the end of the first quarter for 2018, I would say the Nigerian stock actually performed well, although there is still room for improvement. We could have done better. But I would say, yes, we performed well for the year 2018. And then let's look at for the stocks ending at the end of 2018, that's for the first quarter, we had an 8.53% growth. That's a lot to celebrate.
From the last quarter in 2017?
Yes, from the last quarter. From the last quarter for 2018, that's the growth of the Nigerian stock. That's we had 8.53%. Although the second quarter started a bit low, but analysts are still looking forward to it picking up, considering the fact that the MPC just held its first meeting for the year. So that would give the economy a direction, and investors would no longer be skeptical about investing.
Okay. All right, but let's look at some other trends that we noticed in the first quarter. January, I mean, the market had an upsurge. There was the trend was there was an upsurge.
Yes, it
but
went up.
Towards February, March, there was some apprehension, some profits taken by investors. What would you say was largely responsible for that?
Well, one of the things we believe, or analysts believe, was largely responsible for this was due to the inability of the Monetary Policy Committee to meet.
So there were apprehensions.
There was an apprehension in the economy. And of course, because the economy didn't have a direction per se, although the MPC, of course, retained rates. But at the same time, it would have been wonderful if the MPC had had their meeting, if the Senate had, of course, approved.
If those apprehensions had been addressed
by the MPC, it would have given the economy a direction, and then it would have put to rest every form of apprehension investors had. So this was one of the reasons. And then we also saw, because of that, people were skeptical. So we saw investors and stockbrokers buying out their shares, being skeptical. People were buying out, and then some didn't even know where, of course, to place their money in.
Okay, but let's look at, now that the MPC meeting has been held last week, Tuesday and Wednesday in Abuja, has that had any impact on the market so far?
Well, so far we believe it has had an impact on the market, because now it has been able to boost investor confidence. Investor confidence has been boosted, like I told you earlier on, in as much as the rates did not change. Given the fact that we now have a committee that regulates the economy, it's sitting now. Now we now investor confidence has now been boosted. So we now know that whatever happens, we have people who are sitting at the helm of affairs, directing how this should go. So of course, the MPC.
What was the reaction to the MPC retaining the interest rate at 14%? No change whatsoever, despite the fact that there's been some stability in the economy, and the inflation rate had not really gone down significantly like that. Do you think the MPC could have considered maybe a downward consideration of the MPC, of the interest rate to perhaps maybe 13 or 14% to encourage the lending power of the banks? and also possibly encourage investors?
Well, actually, most people actually expected that the MPC would have brought down the interest rates from 14% where it was.
I mean, which has been set since July 2016?
Exactly, it's been that way. But the thing there is, it's not so easy for the MPC to bring down that rate. Because, you know, Nigeria as an economy, we're an economy that makes use of dollars mostly. And then if we also want foreign investors to come in and bring in these funds, definitely we have to make an economy that would be sustainable for them. We should be able to sustain growth and profitable to them as well. Because it makes no sense for an investor to come in with a high interest rate and then when he's leaving,
with
interest rates are low. So although analysts were expecting that the MPC would have considered crashing the CRR rate or the liquidity rate ratio, but at the same time, maintaining it at the same point, the economy has been able to dance around it and they have been able to sustain the economy, same with the bank. So we just believe that consequently in the future, we'll still be able to walk around this circle that the MPC has created for us, while we believe that within the banks, the CBN and the banks should be able to come up with a working relationship that sees banks being able to crash their rates. Because with the rates being at 14% and at the asymmetric corridor still remaining at plus 500 and minus 200. So at this point, it makes it a bit difficult for banks to crash their rates. Because if CBN still lends to them at a high rate, of course the banks would want to make their own profit. And it makes it difficult for SMEs to get loans, to access funds from the bank if they are still going to be paying at a double-digit interest rate.
Which means that perhaps the MPC retain the rate to further curb inflation, so that there won't be enough money in the economy, in circulation.
I won't say they did that to further curb inflation, but I would say it was more of trying to stabilize the economy to ensure that we do not have a scarcity of FX.
Okay.
Because if you recall, when we had scarcity of foreign exchange, it was a bit of a problem for everyone. But if the CBN continues at this rate and they're able to maintain the policy we have now and they ensure that we still have effects, given the fact that the oil price market has been stable of late, so we expect that we expect, or we even pray that it goes higher than what it is right now.
Okay.
So at that point, we believe that the MPC is being considered and is being fair, because it's not easy trying to manage the economy.
So far, the market has reacted positively to the MPC's decision?
Yes, the market has reacted positively to it, because with the results we got from the end of the last quarter, and then although you would say
the first trading week of the new quarter,
although it went down a bit, but I would attribute that to the MPC meeting that was coming up. Of course, you know, when the meeting comes with the apprehension